Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. This time we'll take a look at the 1999 Mines R34 Skyline GTR. The final Mines Skyline to look at out of our trio, and this one probably the best looking of the bunch. I love the blue writing on the side, a return to blue writing because it was red on the R32, and this has a very cool set of BBSs, which do look rather terrific. And the R34 in general, very iconic shape. I always flip-flop between sort of what my favourite generation of Skyline and my favourite generation of GTR is, but the R34 definitely has to be up there because it is a very cool car. Of course, in keeping with the fact that this is the most recent and I guess the ultimate Mines Skyline for the time period, this one technically the hardest to earn. This comes from the Gran Turismo All-Stars event, so you'll need a pretty quick car to compete in there. But then again, the R33 and the Tune Turbo Cup sort of left up to chance, so the R33 is probably harder to earn, but the R34 technically should take more time to unlock a car, but we all know how GT2 progression is. Now, interestingly enough, in terms of statistics, this and the R33 are absolutely identical. So the differences in this car are really going to come down to if the R34 chassis was better, and also sort of miniature things like the gearbox. Now, the R33 had a very long gearbox. I think the R34 has a shorter ratio gearbox, so that should help this out, but to how much, I guess we will have to just find out. Four-wheel drive, 693 horsepower, 1,370 kilos. Still on the heavier side of things, but of course more than enough power to make up for that. The Mines R34 Skyline GTR is going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports Land track and odds set the best time it possibly can. Our current lead is the Suzuki Cultus Pikes Peak version. That car set a time of a 26.540. This car unlikely to beat that. Straight away, it has definitely got shorter ratios, I'll tell you that for a fact. And straight away, unlike the R33, which felt very sure-footed over the bumps, again like the R390s and stuff like that, where they just sort of feel like they take the bumps really flat, this does seem to sort of bounce around a lot more. So I think this is going to be a harder car to drive than the R33. Probably quicker by most normal people, but harder to master is my sort of thoughts on this one. But it certainly seems to be getting around the track just about alright at the moment. A little bit of rear end instability through there though, but 28.823 on its first flyout. So just to sort of update you how the Mines are getting along, they are all surprisingly close to each other. The R32 set a time, or sorry, the R32.5 I should say, set a time of a 28.759. The R33 set a time of a 28.750. So, I mean, by that logic, we're on for a 28.620. Never mind. This is quicker. That is probably how it should be. Again, I think, if I'm being honest, the R33, I actually probably preferred driving. That car felt very consistent. This feels a little bit more sort of extreme, more akin to the standard sort of Skyline. Again, that rear end. Skylines do have rear drive bias, in case you are curious. So something like that absolutely is not going to help a car like this. That very nearly worked out if it just sort of gained the traction a little bit. That's why you need a little bit of bias towards the front end, so you can power your way out of those drift moments when they do happen. But no, I am very pleased with that. I'm quite surprised, actually. Again, I don't know. Like I say, I feel like this is a harder car to master, but probably a quicker car overall. To be honest with you, in the vast majority of situations, I would recommend this over the R33. I think this track, maybe, just because I prefer my Skylines not doing that. But, yeah, I think the R34 is, well, the superior car. And interestingly enough, that actually makes this a tie with something else. But no, very interesting indeed from the Mines R34. yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting 0.1. If I was to be completely honest, I was really hoping all these cars would sort of be grouped together inside that little range there, but, you know, I guess one has to be the outlier. The other thing I'm noticing as I'm watching this go around is this car is super low to the ground. I don't know if that might be part of it as well. Obviously, I don't tune the suspension on these, but that looks crazy low to the ground. In terms of splits, it doesn't look like there's that much more time in it. I think that sort of third sector, obviously we had sort of some rear instability out that corner. I think if you shave that off, it could be fractionally quicker, but I am really talking fractions there. A 28.620 will place this into 50th. Goes in between the TVR Cerberus LM Edition and the Mercedes CLK race car. It is quicker than a Roof BR4, Subaru Impreza Rally Car, Legacy Touring Wagon GTB 98, Impreza Coupe, WRX Type R STI version 4. It is 0.1 and a bit up the road from the R33 and R32.5, which makes it the quickest non-Nismo 400R Skyline we've ever had, which means it's just another tuned Skyline. So it's quite interesting how most of the tuned cars can't really keep up with their non-tuned counterparts, but yet when it comes to Skylines, it seems the tuned versions are definitely the way to go with them. So there's a bit of a tip for you next time you play through Gran Turismo 2 and inevitably end up wanting an R34 Skyline. Although I'd still buy mine from the Nissan dealer because you get to pick a cool array of colours, but if you're into the tune stuff and this Mines looks absolutely terrific, which to be fair it does, then yeah, you can't really go wrong with it too hard. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when I will be driving something that is not a Nissan Skyline. Until then, farewell.